Welcome to this electrifying recap of the August 22, 2025 WNBA matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. A night that began with a scorching start by an undermanned Fever squad would quickly become a historic comeback effort by the Lynx, powered by a stunning triple-double from Jessica Shepard. Grab your popcorn, because this one was a roller coaster from tip-off to the final buzzer. The Fever wasted no time asserting themselves. Despite missing key stars like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, Indiana relied on Lexi Hull's sharpshooting to ignite an early advantage. Within the opening 5 minutes, Hull had contributed either a score or an assist to 13 of the team's first 16 points. Her hot hand helped push Indiana out to a 12-point lead midway through the first half, buoyed by an overall 104-104 three-point performance before the break, a near-unheard feat in postseason caliber basketball. The Lynx seemed in disarray, trailing as Indiana showcased intensity and precision from downtown. But the narrative quickly shifted. Minnesota, fatigued from a back-to-back road stretch, dug deep. Kayla McBride exploded with 14 second quarter points, spearheading a surge led by contributions from bench players Natisha Heidman and Maria Kliandakova. By halftime, the score tightened to 52-50, Fever clinging to a narrow edge. Meanwhile, just 2 minutes into the second half, Jessica Shepard grabbed her 10th rebound, completing the rare triple-double. She became only the second player in Lynx franchise history to accomplish this, joining Mariah Jefferson, and did so in record-setting fashion. Just 21:57 into the game, the fastest triple-double in WNBA history, and then came the third quarter, a statement of dominance. Minnesota roared out with an unbelievable 32-point quarter, outscoring the Fever 32-17. Their field goal accuracy was mind-blowing, 13 of 15 from the floor. Every player contributed. McBride was on a tear, Alana Smith knocked down triples, and Shepard orchestrated the offense with finesse. Within a span of minutes, they turned a 2-point halftime deficit into a commanding 82-69 lead heading into the fourth quarter. Indiana's early momentum had completely evaporated. Not ready to concede defeat, Indiana stormed back in the fourth. With under 4 minutes remaining, they mounted a 10-4 run to tighten the gap to 5. Kelsey Mitchell, 27 points, 5 of 7 from 3, and Lexi Hull, career-high 23 points, gave the fans hope, rejecting the fatigue that had plagued their squad. Still, Shepard's relentless play, 22 points on 104-11 shooting, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, along with McBride's 29 points ensured the Lynx held steady. Their defense tightened, ball movement remained crisp, and every clutch possession tilted their way. When the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read 95-90 in favor of Minnesota. This win snapped Minnesota's 2-game skid and provided a huge moral boost as they return home. Their road trip ends on a high note, 1-2, but with valuable momentum. Shepard's historic night positions her as a top threat moving into the playoffs, and the team's chemistry dazzled despite travel fatigue in essence. This game was a tale of two acts, Indiana's furious start, followed by Minnesota's emphatic return. The performance by Jessica Shepard will go down in franchise lore, and McBride's firepower sealed the deal. Indiana showed heart, but the Lynx demonstrated resilience, depth, and championship mettle. Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you enjoyed the energy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more WNBA highlights and analysis. Until next time, keep the WNBA spirit alive. The atmosphere at Gainbridge Fieldhouse was electric from the opening tip. Fans poured in, hoping for a bounce-back performance despite the absence of Caitlin Clark. From every three-pointer by Lexi Hull to the collective gasp as Jessica Shepard neared her triple-double, the crowd played a vital role in fueling the on-court intensity. The Fever faithful roared in the first quarter, drowning out the Lynx offense, while Minnesota supporters could be heard rallying during their team's late-game dominance. It wasn't just a game, it felt like a playoff preview. Lexi Hull's breakout performance wasn't just timely, it was a testament to her growth this season. Often overshadowed by bigger names, she used this opportunity to showcase her potential as a future cornerstone for the Fever. Similarly, Shea Petty's debut provided a needed veteran spark off the bench, bringing energy and calmness to the backcourt. On the Lynx side, Shepard's court vision and maturity have clearly evolved. Her ability to read defensive rotations and deliver pinpoint assists in transition is what transformed this game. The chess match between the two coaching staffs was a subplot worth highlighting. Indiana's game plan early on emphasized spacing and rapid ball movement to exploit Minnesota's tired legs. Christy Sides made the bold decision to go small early, capitalizing on tempo. But Cheryl Reeve responded masterfully, calling timely timeouts, adjusting defensive matchups, and moving Shepard to the high post to unlock better passing angles. That third-quarter turnaround wasn't just about player execution, it was strategic brilliance. Despite the Fever's incredible shooting start, they left several key points on the floor. Missed free throws and a few rushed possessions at the end of the second quarter allowed Minnesota to inch closer before halftime. In the fourth, a crucial turnover with just under 2 minutes left prevented them from potentially tying the game. For a young and injury-plagued team, these lapses are learning moments, but in such a tightly contested battle, every detail mattered. One of the most compelling aspects of this game was the emotional journey each team went through. For Indiana, it was about proving they could compete without their stars. Every bucket, every defensive stand, was drenched in determination. For Minnesota, the early deficit tested their championship mettle. Shepherd and McBride not only answered the call, they inspired their teammates to rally. The fourth quarter was a tug-of-war of willpower, and while only one team came out on top, both left everything on the floor. Midway through the third, McBride pulled off one of the game's signature plays, a crossover at the top of the key, a step-back jumper just over the outstretched arms of Mitchell, nothing but net. That shot put Minnesota ahead for the first time and completely shifted the game's momentum. Then, late in the fourth, Lexi Hull fought through a screen, intercepted a lazy pass, and raced coast to coast for a layup, igniting the crowd and trimming the deficit to just 4. These moments defined the game's emotional highs and lows. Jessica Shepherd's performance wasn't just a great night, it was historic. Completing a triple-double in under 22 minutes. That's the fastest in WNBA history. In a league filled with generational talent, this moment cements her legacy. It also reflects the growing versatility of modern forwards, players who can score, rebound, and facilitate like point guards. Moments like these signal a new era for the league, and Shepherd is leading that charge. The absence of Caitlin Clark for the 14th straight game was noticeable, both in terms of playmaking and the crowd dynamic. But the Fever's ability to stay competitive speaks volumes about their bench and developmental pipeline. Players like Erica Wheeler stepped up defensively, while Mitchell carried the scoring bird. One of the most underappreciated aspects of this game was the visible chemistry on both sides. Minnesota's ball movement was crisp, 5-6 passes per possession at times before a clean shot was taken. Shepherd's unselfish play was contagious, leading to extra passes and high-percentage looks. On the other side, despite Indiana missing key playmakers, you could see a sense of unity. Players like Hull, Mitchell, and Petty communicated constantly on both ends, adjusting on the fly. These aren't just teammates, they're building something bigger together. The beauty of basketball lies in how quickly momentum can shift. After a blazing hot first half, Indiana looked ready to run away with it. But as the third quarter unfolded, Minnesota's defense stepped up. They closed out shooters faster, rotated with urgency, and forced Indiana into uncomfortable spots. Meanwhile, their offense picked up pace. What was once a Fever-dominated game suddenly became a Lynx showcase. That 17-2 run midway through the third quarter completely flipped the script, silencing the crowd and igniting the visitors' bench. This game wasn't just about finesse, it was a physical battle from start to finish. Bodies hit the floor chasing loose balls. Screens were set with authority. Every possession felt like it mattered, and every hustle play was met with a roar from the crowd. In the second quarter alone, there were 3 tie-ups and 2 charges drawn. It's this kind of gritty, effort-driven basketball that often decides the outcome. Not just talent, but tenacity. And both teams brought it. While stars like McBride and Shepherd will steal headlines, it's the role players who quietly laid the foundation for this win. Alana Smith came up big with timely rebounds and 2 key three-pointers that stretched the floor. Natisha Heidman played high-pressure defense and brought pace to the offense in transition. On the Fever side, Temi Fagbonal gave Indiana valuable minutes in the paint, contesting shots and fighting for offensive rebounds. These are the unsung heroes who changed the game when it mattered most. Watching Jessica Shepherd on the bench between quarters told you everything. She wasn't just leading in stats, she was emotionally anchoring this team. Clapping, talking through plays with younger teammates, offering guidance during timeouts. These are the moments the cameras don't always catch, but they define leadership. After the final buzzer, the Lynx bench erupted, not just in celebration, but in admiration for their teammates' milestone. This is a team playing for each other, and it showed in every possession. Statistically, this was a tale of 2 shooting halves. Indiana torched the net in the first half, hitting 10 of their first 14 three-point attempts. That kind of efficiency is almost unheard of. But in the second half, as legs tired and Minnesota adjusted defensively, the Fever cooled off considerably. Meanwhile, the Lynx became the aggressors, scoring 32 in the third quarter alone on 87% shooting. Their inside-out balance kept the Fever guessing, and their shot selection improved as the game wore on. Defense wins games, and in this case, Minnesota's defense sealed it. In the final 90 seconds, the Lynx forced 2 turnovers and contested 3 straight Fever shots. Their help side rotation was impeccable, and players like Bridget Carlton stepped up with timely deflections and forced traps. The Fever, who had feasted on open threes early, suddenly found themselves smothered at every turn. It's one thing to score, it's another to lock in on